Come on, come on. I see no changes.
Many people believe that resistance is something of the past, specifically during the times of civil rights movements, with leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr., Cesar Chavez, and Malcolm X. However, resistance is something that is happening today, even in our own Santa Clara University campus. The most recent resistance movements have resulted from controversial theme parties involving SCU students. The first theme party was in 2007 and was called South of the Border. Students went dressed up as stereotypical Latinos in janitorial costumes and pregnant teenagers. This offended many students, yet the president of the school simply dismissed it by saying,
A few photos of the recent theme party were placed on the internet that unfortunately stereotype people of Latino and Latina descent. I believe the students who organized and participated in the party, including those in the photos, did not intend to stereotype or hurt or demean any person or group. As one person who attended the party said, I believe he was of Asian descent, wrote, I dressed up as a Mexican because I respected the person who the party was and his race, and I was there for a celebration. I'm certainly very proud of my Mexican friend. Let us turn this into a teaching and learning moment for all of us. Our new provost, Lucia Gilbert, is working with a group of faculty, students, and staff to develop a comprehensive approach to multicultural education and inclusive excellence. A number of ideas have been proposed, and ideas will be proposed. They will be considered and evaluated for their potential to improve the quality of the project on campus.
The dominant narrative in this case was that the majority of the student population did not feel that the party was offensive and said that people were letting themselves be offended. Father Locatelli chose to disregard the issue as not important in order to maintain peace among the student body. This was not successful because minority students felt that they were not being heard. They felt that there was not a clear action plan to prevent this from happening again, and so they decided to resist against the decisions of the president. There were special meetings held and a silent march organized to show the rest of the campus that there was a larger issue at hand.
The university believed that it was not going to happen again. However, in 2009, another themed party happened, but this time, those who attended the party dressed up as African American rap artists and gangsters. Students had more special meetings and became informed that this was not an issue specific to SCU. It was happening at universities across the nation.
A Cinco de Mayo south of the border party off campus at University of Delaware. Students dressed as landscapers with Pedro and Jose name tags on their work shirts. Written on the back, Spick and Span Gardeners. Other partygoers wore Mexico t-shirts. The back of one said, full of tequila. Clemson and University of Connecticut, so-called gangsta parties parodied African Americans.
But in Texas, some students are being accused of exploiting racial stereotypes. The college party featured black stereotype costumes, fried chicken, malt liquor that was served in brown paper bags at this party.
In recent months, students have been throwing racially themed parties across the nation.
You know, a few months ago, maybe even a year or two ago at Texas A&M, there was a similar incident, and we all thought that it was an isolated incident, that it would never happen again. and then this happens, that suggests to me that there might be a broader pattern of sort of racist underground rituals that go on in universities around the nation. And I've seen it firsthand locally at Temple, but also talking to my colleagues around the country.
This is happening on other college campuses. Mark referred to it. There's events called Catch an Illegal Immigrant. There's affirmative action bake sales. And this is happening more and more.
I mean, the thing is, if this were just a group of kids in a house having fun and kids will be kids and they learn and they grow, that's great. But the problem is this contributes to a hostile environment for other students on campus. As an African American, if I were on a campus where I knew that white students were dressing up, making fun of black people, dressing up as Aunt Jemima, carrying mock guns and malt liquor, I would feel unsafe on that campus. That's a critical issue here.
And as is the case at many schools, there tends to be a division between minorities and the majority white student body.
Other thing that struck me in this is that these kids put these photos out on, one of their websites of passing around pictures, so they obviously thought the whole thing was really funny and they wanted to share it with their friends.
Well, the policy violations are clear. The university has a responsibility to protect the interests not only of a narrow group of students, but everybody. You create a hostile and unsafe and uncomfortable environment for everybody when you sanction really modern-day minstrel shows. I mean, you have a group of people who dress up, who mock black people, who have stereotypes about black people, who have caricature black people in public space. You're actually creating a modern-day extension of a minstrel show, and that creates an enormously unsafe environment for black students, for brown students, and for white students who oppose such activity.
The counter story was that students believed that this was an important issue that needed to be addressed. Students believed that allowing theme parties would create a division among the student body, more specifically between minority students and white students. It would also create an uncomfortable school setting. More importantly, these students believed that they had to stand up for what they believed in. Although they were put down the first time, they continued to make a stand. Resistance is not an easy situation to deal with, but there needs to be resistance in order for positive change. Without resistance, there would still be segregation laws and segregated schools. Blacks, Latinos, immigrants, Chinese, members of the LGBTQ community, and many others would not have the rights they have today if it weren't for people who decided to stand up and resist.